much. I hope you stay till the end. And don't forget to browse through my YouTube channel feed to listen in to the other videos. Not so much to get tingles, but to get another idea of what this channel is all about. So, today in this video, I want to talk about why I did not buy Bitcoin when it was 6 cents. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, and not 6 cents. Why did I not buy Bitcoin at 6 cents? Okay, so before we start, I need to give you a little bit of a backstory. Let me see. In my previous video, I did talk about the metaverse, and if you want to hear a little bit of what I said about the metaverse, if you are so interested about the metaverse, and no, it's not Meta, formerly known as Facebook. It's not about that, though I did mention it. But if you want to know what I said about the metaverse, then click right up here and I'll tell you about it in that video. But let me just start back by saying that here's the backstory about why I didn't buy Bitcoin when it was 6 cents. Can you imagine? So, I used to be a nurse in Houston, Texas. As a matter of fact, I was a nurse for 11 years in Texas. Are there any Texans out there listening? Hey guys, how's it going? I lived 6 years in McAllen and 5 years in Houston, H-Town. And let me tell you, as a Canadian, oh yes, I now live in Canada. I came back to Canada, but that's another story. I miss Texas so much. So shout out to all my nursing friends and all the docs and all my other friends in Houston and McAllen and San Antonio and Austin. I cannot forget about Austin. Anywho, when I was a nurse in Texas, I believe it was 2005, and my friend Jerry sent me a text, and he asked me if I heard about Second Life. Wouldn't you want to have a second life? I know you would. Well, guess what? You can. And if you keep listening, you'll hear more about how you can have a second life, because I certainly had a second life. So in 2005, when Jerry texted me and asked me if I heard about Second Life, I said no, what is that? So he sent me the link, and then guys, the rest is history. I downloaded the software on my then MacBook. Was it a MacBook? Yeah, it was called a MacBook, was it? Anyway, and then, oh my god, guys, I totally entered into a whole new world. So if you don't know, Second Life is a 3D virtual world conceived by Philip Rossdale, who happens to be the founder and CEO of Linden Labs out in San Francisco. My goodness, everything just happens out in San Francisco, Silicon Valley to be exact. Isn't that interesting? Anyway, this Second Life, this 3D virtual world, was actually the first time I've ever experienced a metaverse and all the things that a metaverse can be. There were people that created communities, there were content creators, there were people that consumed the content, and they had a digital economy. Now Second Life had its own, had its own like token system or payment system. I can't remember the word right now. And it was called the Linden Dollar. And you can make money on Second Life with the Linden Dollar by creating content, and people can buy your content. Oh my god, DigitalFemme, like what content can you create? Well, think about it. You enter and you engage in Second Life essence of their company. So I spent 6 hours while I was I had a day off from nursing, and I was like literally in bed for 6 hours creating this, I think 4 or 5 story building. And then this Japanese guy paid me like, I don't know, like tens of thousands in Linden dollars. And then what you can do with Second Life's Linden dollars is you connected your Second Life account to PayPal, PayPal, and then you kind of like exchanged Linden dollars to USD. So after I finished that, I think 4 or 5 story building for this Japanese company, they paid me in Linden dollars, and I exported that money to my PayPal, and I ended up getting like, let me see, oh my neck is itchy, like something like 465 US dollars for 6 hours. That's more than I make in nursing, can you believe? So, okay. So you want to hear about the Bitcoin thing? I'm getting there. Bitcoin. Otherwise known as BTC, cryptocurrency. So, because I knew the value of digital currency, which was the London dollar, I kind of like envisioned along with my friends that digital currency was going to be the future. I found out that a token system, like you can tokenize education, you can tokenize like learning and education, you could pretty much give a value to anything, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like fiat money. Think about it as loyalty points. You know how when you constantly go somewhere and then you earn rewards like air miles and stuff like that, and then you can redeem those reward points or air miles for something else, something like that, the token system. So I already knew about the value and how digital currency could work. So in 2009 was the first time I heard about Bitcoin. Okay. So remember how I told you I was a nurse in Texas? Well, I moved to Texas. I'm not actually gonna say, but in 2007, I actually moved to Frankfurt, Germany, and that's another episode that's very much involves technology. So we'll talk about that in another episode. And if you want to hear about why I moved to Frankfurt, Germany, let me know in the comments below, just so we can get some engagement going. Okay? Engagement. So in 2007, I left H-Town, and went to Frankfurt, Germany, and that was 2007. So in 2009, I heard about Bitcoin because I was very much involved in the mobile fintech, finance technology field. I know. You might be wondering, how did a nurse get involved into mobile technology? That's not quite a big leap if you knew my backstory, and I will tell you my backstory in another video. Right now, this is supposedly a video about why I did not buy Bitcoin at 6 cents. Okay. So in 2009, I heard about Bitcoin, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, totally. I could totally see Bitcoin becoming like a cryptocurrency. Well, I didn't call it crypto back then. I actually called it a digital currency. I could totally see Bitcoin being integrated as a digital currency into the real world. And I thought about it, I knew about it, I read about it, and then in 2010 was when you started to hear about Bitcoin. Well, in my circle anyway, in my circle of early adopter tech people, we started following Bitcoin, and we started excited I was and how it was going to be like a digital currency and everything like that. So you might want to know, Digital Femme, why did you only reach out to white men? That's a very good question, and I didn't realize it back then. But a couple of years ago, when I started doing Twitter Spaces, and started talking about my life and cryptocurrency, it had occurred to me that when I did know about Bitcoin in 2010, and when I thought about who I reached out to, I finally realized why. It was because of my perception of the world. So, as you can see, I am Asian. Actually, I was born in the Philippines. Are there any Filipinos? Pinoys, Pinays out there? Shout out to all the Filipinos. Yeah. Anyway, I was born in the Philippines and we immigrated to Canada. So to Toronto. Shout out to my Toronto homies. So, I had immigrant parents raising my sister and I in Toronto, Canada. And the kind of life we lived, let's say we were kind of like middle class family. My dad worked for the federal government in the post office, and my mom worked for the provincial government. And as far as I know, I always heard them say, or especially my mom, that the way we lived was hand to mouth. We lived a hand to mouth existence. And I didn't really understand what that was until I got older. So hand to mouth existence was hand, meaning whatever paycheck you have in your hand, you use it to exist. Meaning you pay for your house, your necessities, your food and stuff like that with really not much savings. If my parents did save, it was to save like to buy furniture or a car or to go on vacation. But they never dabbled in stocks or anything like that. And I don't even know if they did RRSPs or 401k or whatever that is. I don't know. Probably they did. I think they did. I don't even know. So as I was growing up, it wasn't really all about saving money because I always heard about hand-to-mouth existence. And as far as I was concerned, Filipinos do not dabble in that finance stock market thing. So the more I got older and the more I got involved with nursing and technology, I would only always see white men talk about stocks and trading. Well, first of all, it was usually the white men portrayed in the movies that were all about like the stock market and all that stuff. So that's why in Bitcoin, when Bitcoin was 6 cents, I considered it okay. It was a digital currency, and the price of the digital currency of Bitcoin was gonna go up. So why don't I tell these white men that I knew that to get into Bitcoin, because that's what white men do, right? They invest. Did you know that I didn't tell any of my family members? Why would I? Because my family members weren't into anything I was into. As a matter of fact, I was like a way early adopter. You can kind of like say I was kind of like the black sheep or like the weird cousin or whatever, because I was talking about things that people could not understand. And you know what? 10-15 years later, it became a thing. Well, that's another story. So I didn't tell my family, I didn't tell my cousins, I didn't tell my high school friends. Did I tell any white high school friends? No, actually I didn't really know too much. I wasn't in touch with them so much back then. But I did tell some of the tech gurus or tech influencers back in the 2008, 9, 10 early days of Twitter. And guess what? Okay, you know who you are if you're listening to me. 3 of those white men that were sort of like tech influencers, and they still exist today. Oh yeah, they're big guys today, even bigger now. 3 of them unfriended me, or not unfriended me, but unfollowed me on LinkedIn. Did you know that? After I sent them this long text message about Bitcoin and into everything that's digital, 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 digital. And I was very hurt because I thought that I had a good online relationship in a professional manner at least, with these people. And I was super, 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 super excited to tell them about Bitcoin because I thought it was like something that they had probably heard of. And even if they didn't hear about it, I kind of like believed that once they heard about Bitcoin, they would go, oh yeah, Bitcoin's a thing. So, let me tell you, after you heard what I just said for the past 3, 4, 5 minutes, do you think I had the perception as a Filipino woman to buy Bitcoin? No. Could I have bought Bitcoin? Abso-fucking-lutely. But so why didn't I? I just didn't think of it. I did not think of it. It was not in my reality that a Filipino girl could invest in some type of stock. Because back then, even though I knew that I considered Bitcoin to be digital currency, in the news, they kind of treated it as like a stock, watching the price go up. So in my mind, although I knew it was a digital currency, but because I perceived, or the media kind of like presented it in the way that I perceived it to be a stock, it was like if Bitcoin was going to be a stock, then that's not for me. Filipino girls or people do not invest in the stock market. How naive was I? I was so naive in that regard. But you know what? That's the truth. And do I have FOMO? No. Do I regret it? No. Surprisingly, no. Because what I didn't know then, I didn't know. What I did do, or what I have done, is I chuckle, and I actually found it very amusing to realize that that was my mindset back then. And the fact that those guys, the 3 guys, unfollowed me on LinkedIn, and I got blocked from them, and I got blocked from 2 of them on Twitter. And as of now in 2023, to see where Bitcoin is right now, I can kind of like rest. I have peace of mind, and my heart smiles because I know that somewhere out there, at least 10 of those white men that I reached out to, and I wrote a very passionate text message or letter or Twitter DM or LinkedIn message to very passionately about why they need to invest in Bitcoin. They're thinking about me, and they're saying, you know what, that DigitalFemme, she really knew what she was talking about. And that, my friends, makes me sleep at night so peacefully. So what do you think about that story? 100% true. 100% true. That is why I did not invest in Bitcoin when it was 6 cents. So if you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a video. Alright. I could talk longer, but tomorrow is a work day, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to get my Elgato Facecam Pro. It was supposed to come in 2 days ago, but oh my god, some excuse about the weather, and supposedly it's supposed to come on Tuesday. Well, it better get here because I just can't wait to like get all this all better. And oh my god, the lighting, yeah. I reason why I'm not really well lit is because I figure in ASMR, don't you just want to really just put on headphones or whatever and listen, and you don't really want a bright screen. So guys, get this. When I was listening to my previous videos, I was like, oh my god, why is the intro and outro so loud? So loud. And when I whisper, it's not so loud. What I did was I turned up the volume of the microphone in this setting here. Isn't that crazy? And I tested it. I did an audio. I did 2 audio tests. Two, not 1, but 2 audio tests. And I figured, oh, maybe that's why. Well, it better be that's why. Because all I know is I'm gonna upload this video before I go to sleep. And I sure hope you guys have gotten tingles and you guys are all ready to fall asleep. And I hope you enjoyed that story. So it's time to go, and I'll see you in my next video.